Remember that when we talk about promoting your business, I'm talking about how you can create an expert presence online. How you can create an expert presence online. So, one of the ways that I've discovered that you can create that kind of impression is to write your first book, is to write a book. To write a book on what? To write a book on the subject which you want to be the expert of. Let's say you want to start a photography business from home. You want to write a book on photography. If you want to start training people on keyboard lessons, you want to write a book on keyboard playing. If you're a singer, you want to train people how to sing. You want to write a book on singing. If you're a cook and you want to start running your business from home, cooking for people, you want to write a book on cooking. So you want to write a book. And when you write a book, people look at you as though you are the expert. Anyone who writes a book first is the expert on that subject. So you want to write your first book. So I want to talk to you about how to promote your home business by writing a book and how to write your first book. What I'm going to cover very, very quickly in this particular video is I'm going to cover how do you get your title, how do you get content, how do you format, how do you promote the book, and also we're going to talk a little bit about getting your book cover done, how to get reviews, and then finally what's the offer you're going to give to the readers to make sure they sign up to your list so that you're building your list with the book, and then you can get in touch with your clients as they subscribe through to the book that you're going to give away, or whatever else you're going to give away that's going to make them subscribe to you. So we're going to go over to the platform that I'm going to suggest you use to launch your books. So let's go over to Amazon. We're now on the Amazon site, and just so you know, I'm going to put in my name. I use a name Bumi Tokon Business, so you can see that I've actually written quite a few books. Okay, these are some of my books. How to write your first business plan, how I went from 0 to 30,000 Facebook likes in 30 days, the turnaround. That's a book on how to get Range Rover because I love Range Rovers. And business funding secrets, how to get small business loans, crowdfunding stuff. Public speaking, how to raise money from family and friends, feel the fear but start your business anyway, how to transition from employee to business owner. So those are some of my books. I mean, I write business books and Christian books, so I've got quite a few books written right now. So I know what it means to write your first book, okay, because I had to write many books. Okay, so I'm going to show you what to do. To write your first book, to get a title, and to get content, you're going to come onto the Amazon page. So when you go to Amazon.com, probably land somewhere like this, or if they change the ads, probably look a little bit different. But you land on Amazon.com, and what you want to do is to go to this left side here where it says search, click on it. There'll be a drop-down menu, and what you want to launch is a Kindle book. Okay, so you click on Kindle Store, and let's say you're writing photography books. Let's say you are a photography expert. So once you start typing, there'll be a drop-down menu. So photography in Kindle, you click on that, and that would take you to the books within that particular category. And in that category, it shows you on the left side. Let's have a look. Refined by new releases, last 30 days, 2,247. Coming soon, 48. In the last 90 days, 6,800 books. Authors of those books. On the on the photo on in the Kindle store under photography. So you get an idea of what's coming. You get an idea of who the famous authors are. So let's click on that. This is all live, so I'm just clicking on that. So, okay, this is this whoever this guy is, Bruce, is one of the biggest sellers of photography books. So you might want to look at him, okay? And you look at his titles. It's from his titles you're going to develop your titles. Let's be clear. Let's be clear on something. When you're working online, when you're working on a space like Amazon, Amazon already has clients. It already has traffic, and the people there buy particular types of books with particular types of titles. So if this guy is one of the leading producers of art photography books, you gotta look at his titles and get titles that are similar to that. I'm not saying you copy his titles, but you get titles that are similar to that. So probably on Google, somebody's probably gonna type in art of photography or creativity photography. So anyway, let's go on there. So once you get into, so let's go back for a moment. I'll show you that. Okay, I've come up to this page. Okay, so now what I've done is I clicked on this particular book, went to have a look at this book because this is all live. This is the 27th. I clicked on this book, so I'm gonna just go down here, and then when you scroll down, you'll find the categories, and you want to go into the category of photography. So this book is 3,243, but it's free. That's the free, because Amazon has paid and free. So I'm going to show you that in a moment. So you click on the category here, photography, and that will bring you to this box. Right here, it's showing you the top 100 paid books. And now here are the top 100 free books. So it's free at the moment. Just log that somewhere because we're going to come back to that. That's going to become important in a moment. So here, the paid ones we're going to look at. These are the top 100 books paid. So what you want to do is to study the type of titles these paid books have. So let's say this is the category that you want to write for. There are other categories, and you might want to choose to write for subcategories. So under photography, you could write for cinematography, color, equipment, fashion, portraits, travel photography. You know, whatever you want to write for, you might want to write a book that relates to a smaller niche as opposed to photography. So let's go to travel photography. Let's click on that. Actually, we work from there because that's more specific. What you want to do is to work for you should write to a particular niche. And if you notice, even it drills down further by showing you photography, yeah, travel, yeah, but also travel Africa, Asia, Australia, Canada, you know. So if you want to choose to write a book on photography, travel, Africa, for example, you click on that. There seems to be nothing there. Let's go to, there are no bestsellers in this category. Okay, maybe that's a good category to write for. That's photography Asia. Let's see. Photography Britain. I think there should be quite a bit. Okay, that's only one. Photography Middle East. Wow, okay. So let's just go travel. Okay. So Here you, just like the other category we went to, it's got paid, then it's got free. Okay, let's stick with the paid. So under the paid, you've got all these books that are being written for travel photography, and you can look at the titles, and you can begin to think of what kind of titles you're gonna have for your books. Okay, so this is where you get your titles from. You use a title that is similar to what you can find on here. So what about content? How do you know what to put in the book that you're going to write? Well, there are a couple of ways. When I first wrote my first book, my first business book on how to write your first business plan, I pretty much knew, I'd been teaching on business plans. I've trained so many people on starting their business, so I knew what people wanted. So I pretty much knew what the content should be, okay? Because I had experience that was really a hands-on experience in that arena, so I knew what to write, okay? But if I'm writing, even though I knew what I was gonna talk about, I still came and now I will do the same exercise that I'm going to show you in a moment. So when you want to write a book, even though you may know what should be in it, you're going to come and have a look on what's inside the top selling book. So the top selling book in that category was this one. So you're going to come here, you're going to click on look inside. Let me do that again so that we notice what I did. Let me close that. Okay, so this is the category. This is number 1 in this category of travel. So you click on that. Then you click on look inside. Now we're going to go have a look of what's actually inside this book, and I'm going to show you what to do. So we're going to have a look inside. So I'm going to scroll down, and then I'm going to see this book's chapters content. So here's the content. What's in my handbag? What's the best camera? Selecting lenses, sturdy foundation. Chapter 2, planning the journey, and all. Chapter 4, chapter 5, chapter 6, long exposure, no flash, chapter 7. So this is where because this is the top selling book, this means that people who bought the book that made it number 1 wanted content like this. So you can choose to write about similar content or same content but giving a different slant on it. So that's where you get your content. So the content can come from what you already know, and you got to have a look at the content of the top selling books on Amazon Kindle. That's what you do. That's how you get your content. Very important. And your content must bring solution to the target audience you're trying to reach. It's got to be a content that helps people overcome particular problems. Okay, so that's how you get your content. So I'm going to show you how you format the book in a moment. So once you've written your book in a Word document or whatever format you're going to write it in, either you're going to use a notepad even, or you're going to use notes on Apple. Once you've written the book in the format of Word, or like I said, actually you need to format it in a way that you can upload it to the Kindle site. Okay, because you've got to open up a particular actually let me show you that. You're gonna open up you're gonna register. So just so you know, you've got to be registered with Amazon as well as the Kindle Direct publishing site that belongs to Amazon. That's called KDP. So that's at kdp.amazon.com. So you also got to register, and you can use the same passwords and you can use the same email to register on both sites. But you need to register first of all on Amazon.com or Amazon.co.uk or whatever your country is. If they have an Amazon dot your country, then you need to register also to kdp.amazon.com for you to be able to upload your book once it's been formatted. Now let me back up again to the book information. Your book can be as long as you want it to be, but you got to give good content. My books are generally about 50 to 60 Word document pages. That's the kind of books that I write. 40 sometimes to roundabout, it averages about 50 pages. 50 pages of content is what I tend to write. I tend to write about 10,000 words. Okay, so whatever that is, I think 10,000 words could be about, could be a bit less than 50. But I know that I've written 50 pages, and when I format it, the way that I format it, it runs to about 70 or 80 Amazon Kindle pages. So once you've written your book, you go over to Fiverr. This is the easiest way to do it. Go over to Fiverr, fiverr.com. This is the site, fiverr.com, and then type in format for Kindle. When you type in format for Kindle, it's going to bring this gigs, they call them gigs, up. Okay, you click on one of them and you buy a gig that the person, you pay $5, and the person would format your book and get it ready for Kindle. Okay, which is this. It would format the book and get it ready for you to be able to upload it on Kindle, because you cannot just upload any written material onto the Kindle site. It's going to reject it. So you want to just make sure you format that. Okay, so once that's formatted, you come over, you upload your book. But then you might want to first of all do a cover as well. You're going to need a book cover. So you go over here into Fiverr, you type in KDP. It's got KDP cover. Again, you can get a cover for $5, and this is the place that I use to get mine. I get my book covers done here. So here you go. It's giving you so many book cover designers that you can use to get your book cover for $5. That's how you get your book cover. But your book cover should look like the covers you saw in the category you viewed on Amazon. Okay? It's going to sit very well into these types of covers. Especially, I always look at the top 3 or top 5 or top 6 covers, and then do a cover that is similar to theirs, so that I sit right in with what's selling at that particular point. So we've talked about how to get your title, we've talked about how to get your content, how to get your book cover done as well. Now, I told you earlier on that you should take a note of this 2 categories. One is the paid, the second one is the top 100 free books. Okay? There are no bestsellers available in this. Okay, there are no free books in that category, which means, okay, I'll talk to you about that in a moment. So once you register your book on KDP, that's the Amazon site for the Kindle, then you would have an option to opt into KDP Select right here. When you opt into KDP Select, you will not be able to sell your book anywhere else for 90 days. But it's a good thing to do. So I generally just opt in with my book. Then I can give away my book for free through this KDP Select. And that will be my way of promoting, as is one of the ways of promoting my book to a new audience that doesn't know me. So if you are a photography expert and you're writing a book for the first time, nobody knows you, you're just starting your business, and your book gets given free by Amazon to those who are interested in photography. Let's say Amazon gives out 1,000 copies of your Kindle book. Okay, yeah, you don't get paid for it, and they get it for free. But that means that 1,000 people get to know you who did not know you before. And because you give away your book, and you're going to write in your book somewhere, you're going to write somewhere at the end of the book or the beginning, please review this book. You're also going to pick up reviews. Now, reviews and activity on your book will now help the book to start selling and start making money. But the sweetest part of this is what I'm going to talk about now. In the first slide I showed you, when we looked at the, let me go back there and show you now. Okay, this is what I showed you earlier. And I said, you should use your book to build a list. You need to include in your book an offer that compels people to have to email you to collect it. So you might be giving away the part 2 of your book. And anybody who sends you an email to say, yes, I want your part 2, then they're going to get it for free. So that way, when they email you, you're building your list. So you need to include in your book an offer that's going to make people email you. So let's go over this again. You've got your title, your content. You format your book on Fiverr.com. You also get your book cover on Fiverr.com. You upload it to KDP. That's kdp.amazon.com, which you've registered on. Then you get reviews because Amazon promotes your book. So you're going to pick a promotion date and Amazon will promote your book. Okay, you can promote for 3 days or 5 days to promote the book. In there, in your book, you're going to write, kindly review my book. So some people will review the book. And then finally, you're going to include in your book an irresistible offer that's going to compel those people who have bought your books or have received your book for free to email you. Once they email you, you're building your list. You're building your mailing list. Or you can put a clickable link in there, which if you register with people like Aweber or MailChimp is free. Aweber costs you about $10 a month. MailChimp is free for your first 2,000 names. So you can actually go onto MailChimp and, create a opt-in box that people can opt in on or put in the option for people to click on a link that takes them to your opt-in box on your website, and they can register, and that way you're using your Amazon book to build a list of targeted people who are actually looking for photography. Okay, so that's how you promote yourself, and before you know it, you have a book. The book is selling now. People are buying the book, and also people are recognizing you as the go-to person. Plus, with your website, with your YouTube account, with your YouTube channel, and with your Facebook, you're beginning to build for yourself and it's a serious expert presence online. And before you know it, with your offline work as well, I'm going to show you in a moment, with your offline work, you will have just built yourself a really good presence that will make people know that you are the go-to person. So let's get on and write a first book, okay? You will never regret it.